the first question is, you know, who's playing the goal?
Yeah, Gustafson is.
Now, further to that, there's so many expectations on goalies in the modern game because their equipment's better, they get personal coaching, which is good. But the bad thing is the bar is so high. And around the World Junior Tournament, there was talk that there's not very many Canadian goaltenders or young guys who are coming down the pike who are very good young goaltenders. Do you think those kind of expectations for goalies are so high and so much pressure that kids look at it and say, why would I want to be a goalie? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, where they come from, I think, is a little bit cyclical. Some of the other countries, Sweden and Finland, for example, have national programs that develop goalies all essentially with the same style, with the same coaching. We don't have that, I don't think, so much in North America in terms of a national plan for developing goalies, and they're basically cookie cutter goalies. But I mean, I think that's a pretty glamorous position now. You're the only one who can express yourself with your mask and things like that. You're pretty well protected. When I was a kid growing up, if you were a goalie, you could get hurt, you know, the way people are shooting it. But now it's you can't really get hurt. And I don't see why kids wouldn't want to be a goalie myself.
Ron, what made you want to go back to Gustafson tonight? What made you want to go back to Gustafson tonight?
Oh, I think over the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's performed the best. Period.
Did you see a difference with Joffrey Lupul having had a full off-season of training when he came back to training camp? And do you see any evidence at all now that he ever had a back problem?
I don't see any evidence of the back problem at all. You know, one thing that since he's had those issues, is he's gotten into yoga and a lot of different stretching to make sure he's ahead of that. Having a full training camp, I think that the injury and other things, the infection has caused him to look at himself and be better prepared physically anyway, and change his training program, which is the yoga and all the back exercises. And probably worked on changing his diet and things like that. When you go through kind of the blood disorder that he had, you'd be looking not only at medication, but what you eat in order to stay healthy. I think he's now the beneficiary of all these healthy choices he's making now.
From talking to some of the guys yesterday, it seems like the message was a greater attention to team defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you expand, I guess, a little bit on that?
No, you just hit it right, the nail on the head. Better, more attention to detail on defense. We have to stop the other teams. Sometimes you can't control how well the goalie plays, so if you can score 2 and you only give up 1, you're going to win the game. It's not about, all they hear here is secondary scoring. Secondary scoring, you've got to score more goals. If you're giving up 3, yes you do. If you only give up 1 or 2 or none, you don't. So we have to play, we can score, but you can't expect to score 4 or 5 goals every night. A lot of our offense at times has come from our power play. In the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks, we're only giving up 1 a game, and the other, we're only getting 1 a game. So if you're waiting for a power play to come along to contribute some offense, it's not going to be there. So we've got to play 5-on-5 better defensively.
Well, I guess you look at the game the other night, it's 1-2 mistakes, and
yeah, eliminate those mistakes, and it's not necessarily the mistake you think that you see, the obvious one at the end. Primary, you know, ultimately the red light goes on, and that appears to be the goalie's mistake. The mistake you see just before, it's the defenseman's mistake, but half the time it's a forward not getting the job done in the neutral zone or the offensive zone, a bad turnover, a poor decision. Coming back, not back checking properly, or not winning a battle on the boards to help your D get the puck out. Simple stuff like that.
you touched on your PK. Is it just confidence with not having to kill 5-6 a night?
That helps, but we've been a lot more aggressive. We've gotten a couple different guys in there. I think Darryl Boyce, when he was healthy, kind of helped us get going. David Steckel, over the broken finger that he had, is winning a majority of his faceoffs. on the PK, so that at least you win the face-off, you shoot the puck down there, goes 25 to 30 seconds right there, instead of losing a face-off and being